Yeah, this example says we wish to estimate what percent of adult residents in a certain county are parents. Out of 500 adult residents sampled, 84% had kids. Based on this, construct a 99% confidence interval for the proportion P of adult residents who are parents in this county. Okay. So where are we going to go? So step one, we're going to go to the online calculator. And specifically, we're going to go to the confidence interval for a proportion, as it says right here, 99% confidence interval for the proportion. So I'm going to go there, and then in step two, it's going to ask us for N, X, and CL. N is always the total number. That's what's the total number? 500. 500 adults were surveyed. X is the number we want. Now, how do you, and then CL, well, let's just do the X first. What's the number we want? Well, it says that 84% had kids. So they, out of 500 residents that were sampled, 84% had kids. So that means 84% of 500. Let me move this down the road a little bit. So we'll do the CL in a minute. That's piece of cake. So back to this problem. So 84% of the 500 kids, that's 0.84 of means times 500. What is that? 420 equals 420. So 420. So that's how many, right? 84% of the 500 people that were surveyed, 84% of 500, 0.84 times 500 is 420 people. So that's the number that we want, because that's the number that have kids out of 500. Confidence level, make sure that that is a decimal. Confidence level is 99%, so that'd be 0.99. So we're going to go to the online calculator, type that in, and what we'll get is we'll get these two answers. We'll get this 0.798, it says right here, and 0.882. And then on the second part, we're going to need to change to the plus or minus notation. I'll show that. Let's go to the online calculator. All right, put those numbers in there. So here you are on the calculator. Let's go down to number 12. Confidence interval for proportion. Click on that. It opens up. And put in the N. 500 adults were asked. And 420 of them had kids. And confidence level, they want us to do a 0.99 and hit calculate. So there's the numbers, just like we said, 0.79, that'll round to 8, and 0.882. So there's the two numbers. Okay, now, how do we change it to plus or minus? Well, if you go to the notebook, and you know where the notebook is, right? So if you're on the home page of our Canvas course, click on Notes right here. Click on that Notes, and it'll open up, and there's the Unit 1, Unit 2, Unit 3 notebooks in PDF or Word doc form, whatever you prefer. Again, the notes are on the home page of the Canvas course. Click Notes if you don't already have a copy. All right, so come in here. Here's the Unit 3 notes. So you come on down to, see this part that says changing left, right to middle number plus or minus jump. So that's what we need to do. How do you do it? The middle number is the left plus the right. Hit enter, divide by 2, enter. And the jump number is the middle number just found minus the left number. So let me go back and show you that. Okay, so this is, oops, there we go. This is the left number and this is the right number, the first two answers we got. Now we want to change to middle number plus or minus what I call the jump number. How do we do it? It tells us step number 1, take the left plus the right, hit enter or equals or whatever, and divide by 2 and enter or equals again. So then that means I'll say, okay, take the 0.798, the left number right here, plus the right number, 0.882, hit equals, and divide by 2 and hit equals. And what you'll get, your answer to that will be 0.84 right here, 0.84. That's the middle number that they're listing right there. Because why? Because that's the middle of 798 and 882 is 84%. That's the middle. And then now once we have that, step two, we're going to find the jump number. How do we find the jump? The jump, how far the jump is the middle number, take away the left number. So the middle number that we just found, take away the left number. So this middle number, this is the one just found. We just found the middle number. So that's going to be that's number right here, a 0.84 number we just found, minus the left number. What left number? Up here, the left number, 0.798. So if you do that, you're going to get 0.042, which is that number right there, the jump number. Okay, now I don't want that just to be some magic formula that you follow blindly, because that won't help in real life. Real life, you're never going to calculate these things again, but you will read data or hear data, not read, but you'll hear people talk about data, professional world, they'll talk about things like this. So what did we just do? Well, just think about this. What if I said, hey, on the next exam, I think 80% of the class is going to pass, give or take 10%. You might not be perfect. So think about what that means. That means there's a middle number and a jump number. Let me just give you a feel for what we just did. Okay, that means 80%. I think 80% of the class is going to pass, but it could be higher than that by 10%. So that'd be up to 90%. Could be 90% of the class will pass, or it could be lower than, whoops, by 10%, right? Higher or lower by 10. So that'd be down to 70%. So what I'm really saying is I think from 70% to 90 to 90% of the class is going to pass. That's the left and the right. Do you see that those are two ways of saying the same thing? That's what I want you to see. When we change formats from middle plus or minus jump to left, right, those are two ways of saying the same thing, aren't they? They're two. So if I said, yeah, I think 80% of the class is going to pass the next exam, give or take 10%. I mean, it could be higher by 10, could be lower by 10. Somebody said, oh, you mean you think somewhere between 70 and 90% of the class is going to pass the exam? Yeah, same thing, right? Left, right, middle, jump. And the calculator, when we go to the online calculator, starts us out here. The online calculator gives us left, right. So then how do we go from left, right back to middle plus or minus jump? Because it's often expressed that way in the real world. So, well, if you have a left and a right, you got to find the middle. How do you find the middle of 70 and 90? How do you find the middle of two numbers? You add them and divide by 2. It's called the average, right? And you get 160 over 2, you get 80. Sure enough, that's the middle of 70 and 90. We knew that, 80, right? And then you think, well, how do you get, so this is the middle, 80. How do you get the jump? Well, if you just take that 80 answer you just got and subtract the left number, 70, you get how far the jump is, right? It's 10 that way and 10 that way. Take the middle minus the left. That's why I'm telling you that's the formula. You just take the left plus the right, divide by 2, and the jump is the middle minus the left. So that's what we did. We're saying we think between 79% and 88% of the, because in our survey, we got 84%, right? We surveyed 500 people in our county. That's not the whole county, but 500 adults, and 84% of them had kids. So that gives us an idea of what might be true for the whole county. We didn't survey the whole county. We just surveyed 500 adults. So what might be true for the whole county? Well, we got 84%. So we're thinking for the whole county, in fact, we are 99% confident that for the whole county, the real percentage of adults that have kiddos is somewhere between 79% and 88%. Really, that's about 80, huh? 80 and 88. So then we change it. Oh, okay. What's the middle of 80 and 88? Well, it's 84. 84 is the middle of 80 and 88. 80. So it's, no, you're saying you think it's 84%, give or take about 4%. Could be 4% higher up to 88 or 4% lower down to 80. Right. These are two ways of saying the same thing. And so there we go.